Welcome back to another episode of our Powerslide Speaking Specs series.
The Couch Edition.
The Couch Edition. We've switched it up for 2019. But what we're doing here is not a flashback in time or something like that. What I want to talk to you today, or what we are going to talk to you about today, is what I would call probably the most underrated kids speed skate in the history of all kids speed skates. Right, Matthias?
That's a good point. But yeah, it's based on the V system. So it's called the VRS Kids Junior. And well, people that probably know I'm a fan of the V system. I still have my custom as a V. So I like the system where you clap, snap, and wrap. So you have the front system where you can open it, and then it wraps around your foot like totally. So the bottom shell and the top shell really compresses your foot in a nice way and holds it. And then you adjust with the disc system here. It has metal wire, so really strong. Takes up a lot of tons. We did actually a video visit with this wire where
it's on the channel,
where we pulled actually a car with it and it was not breaking, so almost indestructible. And the good thing is, this is a kid skate which is like 2-in-1 or 3-in-1 better, right?
3-in-1. And I mean, Matthias just touched on it a little bit. Then the V system with the top closure and things like that really holds the kid's foot really in place. So talking from a coach's point of view, that's one of the key fundamental elements about this skate, why I believe it is a critical skate for kids' development. Secondly, as Matthias is demonstrating now, probably the most major feature is the cuff is removable. Just two cuff screws there. It allows you to remove the cuff, and then you have a low cut speed boot. So it's essentially a 2-in-1 boot. And I mean, talking from a coach's point of view, not just my opinion, if you ask any of the top coaches in the world, they say kids often enter a speed skate too early, because what happens is they start on like a high cut fitness boot, similar to this one, but then they turn up at their local club training and every other kid is on a low cut speed boot. So naturally, that kid also wants to be on the low cut speed boot, regardless of how good they are technically.
But we know speed is not coming really from the boot. It's high or low. Speed is coming from the wheel, from the bearings, and actually for the frame and, having a good push and a good support and a good power transfer.
I wasn't quite finished, Matthias.
Sorry.
I was just on a bit of a rant because I see it too often, and it's the most common problem for all kids is when they're skating and when they're just starting out, they're falling to the inside maybe. They're not stable at those higher speeds. And what's going to happen is if they do too much and they're in their speed skates too early, which is hurting their feet, they're less common to keep skating. So it's really important. I mean, sure, it's a little bit unconventional, but I really, really, truly believe in it as a skate to not only help a kid develop, but I know in the long term, it's going to make them better skaters. Now you can continue.
Yeah, thank you, Scott. No, like we said, what makes a good skate is for sure also the equipment of the frame, the wheels, and the bearings. And here we're using high grade, super high rebound wheels. We have 80 millimeters on this model. We have actually a magnesium frame here, a magnesium CNC frame, which is very lightweight, very strong, and very durable for the kids. So it makes overall a very light skate. And we have the twin cam bearings inside here, the ILQ7. So really high grade, equipment on the bottom too.
So yeah, it is really spec'd up. So as Matthias is holding it now, again, it looks like any other traditional speed skate. Obviously, it still has a plastic shell. But what we've done there, and I mean, you can see it, if you could see it right around this heel and Achilles area, it's got a really tight heel lock. So when they do graduate out of the high cuff boot, they can move down into that low cut speed boot and still have the really tight back end.
And, when you look at the boot itself, it's really like a high-end speed boot. We have microfiber inside, a nice padding inside. We have the disc lacing here on the front. Additional, we have top lacing with the laces. And then for kids, because a lot of the kids, they don't know how to do really laces, they have a top Velcro strap around the ankle so they can really, adjust and move it tighter during skating when maybe Papa or Mama is already gone home and they still need to retie the boots. So that's a good option. And then we said it's a 3-in-1 skate. One is a speed skate. Two is it's a second size here. So we have an inner shoe inside. So it's a dual size fit. And the third one is basically the high top with a cuff.
So the dual size fit, and this is a liner. So it's as opposed to something which is more a traditional front end adjustable. What this does is because it covers the whole foot, because often if a child's foot, it's not only going to grow in one direction. So this is going to grow with the child's gait. So you can also, as a parent, because I assume you're probably a parent watching this, you can buy a little bit lower risk. So you buy the shoe a little, when it fits perfectly with the liner, then as it gets too small, take the liner out and you have another whole size to go. So it's really, as I said, what I believe is one of the most underestimated skates in the speed skating world.
And all the parts are replaceable. We have screws here. It's ventilation all through the bottom to the inside, also from the top. So everything is fully replaceable. Also the disc system here is fully replaceable, but it's super strong. And the good thing is for the kids, it's not like a, how you call it, it has not a 1-to-1 transfer, but it's a 2-to-1 transfer. So they have
it has a gear inside.
So they have to turn a little bit longer, but the power is twice as much. So kids can always tight it by themselves very easily and get the perfect fit out of it.
But yeah, so again, great skate. Really perfect. For me, it's a perfect skate if your kids have been to a training for a few months and they're coming out of, say, a more traditional fitness kid skate. This would be the transition step, I would say. So it's a perfect skate to allow you or allow them to really hone those fundamental skills. So when they're trying to balance on one foot, which is the most important thing in speed skating, to allow the skate to roll, this is going to help them to do that easier.
And still we have all the other technical parts like single axle system here. We have the, how we call it now, personal alignment frame system, whatever.
So yeah, you can move the frame inside to outside and also front to back.
So that's important for the kids so they can balance even better. So that's another, big point for these skates.
So yeah. So if you haven't, if you're really interested in the skate, drop us in the comment section below. If not, hound your local skate shop for it, because for sure everybody has access to it. And yeah, we'll continue to do this, more promotions and things on like this in the future. But yeah, as I said, little bit of a speaking specs video, little bit of a public rant, because I really see it at a lot of trains, not only in Germany, but all around the world. Everybody going onto speed skates too fast. And yeah.
Thanks for watching, and next time I'll watch a little bit more into the camera too.